Hey everybody, welcome to the 1804 show, chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is 1804 history. Baga! Yeah, this is episode 9 of 1804 history. It's a different segment that I do, for the show and for the people that's fans of this segment because again, I feel like it's really important that we that I you know have the responsibility of sharing these type of topics and history segments because a lot of people don't know the history, and it's just really important that we don't forget about the past. It's very important that we pass these stories on to our children, nieces, nephews, the kids, the youth. And it's just really important that we, as the young adults, appreciate the things that our ancestors fought for, because we don't really have um, a way to pay them back. And it's just all about passing the torch down. So today, I'm discussing Red Summer. And what is Red Summer? Red Summer consists of a whole bunch of race riots that happened all across the United States the summer of 1919. So before I started, I'm gonna get something to drink real quick. Oh, I just appreciate everybody who supports me, who support the show, who support these segments, because it's not a very easy thing to do. Because I still work my regular job. I had just had did 9 hours today, so I'm just really tired. So if I slur my words or whatever, that's because I'm tired. So appreciate an A for effort. So I'm gonna begin. Okay. Red summer is the period from late winter through early autumn of 1919, during which white supremacist terrorism and racial riots took place in more than 3 dozen cities across the United States, as well as in one Renewal County in Arkansas. The term Red Summer was coined by civil rights activist and author James Weldon Johnson, who had been employed as a field secretary by the NAACP since 1916. In 1919, he organized peaceful protests against the racial violence which had occurred that summer. In most in, in, indices, attacks consist of white on black violence. However, numerous African Americans also fought back, notably in the Chicago and Washington, D.C. race riots, which resulted in 38 and 15 deaths, respectively, among with even more injuries and intense property damage in Chicago. Still, the highest number of fatalities occur in the urban area around Elaine, Arkansas, which an estimate 100 to 240 black people and 5 white people were killed, an event now known as the Elaine Massacre. The anti-black riots developed from a variety of post-World War One social tensions, sorry, generally, generally, related to the demolition of both black and white members of the U.S. Armed Forces following World War One, an economic slum, and increased competition in the job and housing markets between ethnic European Americans and African Americans. Yeah, I do. hmm Yeah, it's funny because um, I didn't ask you to read or click on the show, but it's all good. I already explained to you that I'm tired, so cut me some slack, man. If you don't like what I'm doing, do your own show. But anyway, um, what I'm pretty much saying in this is that, and what I get from this is it was just a lot of racial attention. Just World War One veterans coming back, fighting Hitler and stuff like that, and it was pretty much like World War One veterans, man. Just imagine you serve your country and then you come back and you have to fight. You have to fight against white vigilantes who didn't like us in uniforms. They didn't respect the sacrifice. They didn't respect the amount of courage that it took to come home. They hated us having guns. They always hated us being patriotic and being the type to, not back down. And we just always had this misconception that we just never fought back. And that wasn't the case here. A lot of us wasn't going to take that bullying or that emasculating, all that shit. We weren't going to take that shit no more. And a lot of us, fought for Hitler and, well, against Hitler. And even when we joined the military, it was just always segregated. A lot of us weren't even given guns. Even when we had guns, we couldn't come home with guns because they hated the fact that we had that sense of pride, that sense of manhood that it came for fighting in the army and stuff like that. So I just love our people and our ancestors, you know what I'm saying, who just refuse to lay down, who refuse to give up, who refuse to just bow down or whatever. Okay, let me go back into the reading part. So the time will also be marked by labor unrest from which certain idealisms use black people as strikebreakers, further inflaming the resentment of white workers. The riots and killings were intensely documented by the press, which, along with the federal government, feared socialist and communist influence on the black civil rights movement of the time. Following the 1917 revolution in Russia, they also feared foreign anarchists who had bombed their homes and businesses, or predominantly figures and government leaders. So it was just pretty much like this. It was just pretty much like, they feared of us um, overthrowing the government. It was always like excuse of why they will afflict a whole lot of terrorism upon us. And I just always just knew just we was always strong. We was always determined to get our respect. Because back in them days, you weren't considered a citizen. You was a second class citizen. And I don't feel like that even to this day, no matter how many voting rights that we have and um, privileges and the ability to integrate, um, we are still considered second class citizens because of our mindset and the way that we be so quick to, shut each other down and destroy each other, kill each other. We don't have to um, wait on just the white mobs anymore. We are our own mob, and we be so quick to tear each other down, especially when we speak of something positive. We so quick to hate on each other. We hate each other, and I don't understand it. Because if anything, we should always stay on code. We always should be able to, express ourselves without people getting angry, people getting upset, people feeling like that they can't agree to disagree. That's what I don't like about it. And a lot of times, they hated the economic wealth that we accumulated in our own communities. So they needed like an excuse or they needed like a lie to destroy our communities. And what I take from each riot that occurred and each riot that ever happened was because um, a rape allegation. And it still goes on to this day. Once a black man accused of rape, they will pretty much formulate like a mob, you know what I'm saying? And go and kill this person. And I read countless stories on this type of stuff. And it's sickening. It's so bad. Like why? And that's why I really be cautious about who I come around or who I associate myself with because you just never know, man. Like once you accused of something like that, something so drastic, it's over. Like people will go with the court of public opinion. You found guilty before you even tried, before you even vindicated. It's over. And it wasn't like no DNA testing. Once you accused of something, it's over. That's it. And I just remind people that these things that happened back in the day are still happening today. There's no um, law that clearly will like clear your name. That's why this like Me Too movement shit, it can be your best friend or your worst enemy. But there was like a lot of riots, you know what I'm saying, in the all American cities. Stuff that could have been prevented, stuff that shouldn't happen. But it's just the jealousy of racists, you know what I'm saying? They want us to make it. They want us to go on top, come on top, you know what I'm saying? And I just try to be very aware of history has a way of repeating itself. And people really need to understand that. It's just like the same thing with Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was one of the biggest land um, blocks that ever existed. And we don't take the time out to support each other businesses. And that's what really like bothers me with certain people when they talk about black business. Black business been around forever. Black businesses has always been beneficial to us, and we just make jokes out of everything. But that's really what needs to go back to being. And I try to tell everybody that it's just really important to invest into your people. Keep the dollar in our communities, and it's just really an urgency because that's why we don't have nothing, and that's why we one of the races, well, the only race that's left behind because we have no unity, we have no loyalty whatsoever, and we so quick to judge each other and hurt each other, just like other people hurt us. Like I said, I'm not for everybody, and everybody isn't for me. And I understand that, and I approve myself. I don't seek approval from anybody else because I know that it's hard out here for all of us, you know, and it's so bad that, a lot of us got Stockholm syndrome. A lot of us, we love to be abused. We love, you know, the unfair treatment. We just trying to survive. But a lot of us isn't living. A lot of us is living a lie, and these people wouldn't go back down. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you tell a man who served this country that he wasn't a man? And I don't get mad at anybody, for standing up for what's right. And these people ain't done nothing wrong. All these people have done is just wanted to be treated like a person, like a human being. And it's just a lot of these stories, man. I'm not gonna go into it because I want everybody to do their research, figure out what happened, but it's the same, pretty much practically the same thing. Um, False rape allegations, unpaid wages, unfairness, um, just being bigoted, and just hatred, jealousy, envy. And it's just unfortunate that they don't teach us this in school. And I think it's really important that we, um, you know, hold people accountable, hold our education system accountable for these type of things because we need to be more advanced. We need to be more equipped mentally and emotionally because when you hide stuff from us that is important, that is valuable to our use and to our cause, um, I feel like you know different from the people that inflict it. And I just don't understand just why people just don't want to know their history. And they believe in this lie that we all were slaves and we wasn't slaves. All of us wasn't slaves. And they're only going by the indoctrination. But a lot of us wasn't slaves. Sorry to break the news to you. A lot of us weren't slaves. A lot of us wasn't in bondage, shackled, sold. If anything, a lot of us You know, we were sharecroppers, but it wasn't the way that was taught to us in school. It was never like that. So I just advise everybody to do their research and learn something and learn how to, be independent, independent thinkers. And to everybody else, man, who feel like that they have a problem with how I conduct my show or how I read or whatever, go do your own show and see how successful you become. You know what I'm saying? If you knew me, if you knew my story, you knew my struggle, you wouldn't be on here trying to get caught off me. So I don't care about none of that other shit. That other shit is totally irrelevant. I just don't respect that, man. People always trying to come at you and tell you how to do things. I don't care. Go watch somebody else if you feel like it's a big dilemma compared to you. So I don't care. I do this for my people. I don't even get paid like that off this show, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it, regardless if you with me or not. Because at the end of the day, it's all about uplifting each other. It's all about growing. It's all about loving each other, and that's what I'm gonna do. So, other than that, um, I'm gonna make a pretty much tell a list of the cities and massacres that happened this summer, and it was the Elaine Race Riot, body of Will Brown after being burnt by a white mob during the Omaha Race Riot, motorcycle involved in the Washington D.C. Race Riot, and the Chicago Riot, and the arson attack in Putnam County. Don't know where that's at, but it was just like a lot of stuff, and they don't really talk about the racism in Chicago, Illinois, one of the biggest segregated cities in America. And depending on what Chicago you look at, not the Chief Keef version of Chicago, but the Chicago just as a whole, always been like segregated and always had problems. And I always just tell people about a lot of the stuff that was in the South had nothing on the North, because the North racism is well kept. It's quiet kept. It's kind of like a secret if you're not aware of it, but it's always been, what I'm saying, racial and tension in Chicago. Even when Dr. King went to Chicago, he said that it was thousands of angry mobs um, of people compared to every time he did a demonstration or a protest in the South. It was like thousands compared to hundreds in the South. And we just need to understand that this hatred is hereditary, sorry, and it's passed down. You're not born like this. You are created. Whoever the grandparents is, and then whoever the parents is, and then whoever the children is. They go pass that down to their children. They go pass that down to their children until that person or that child grows up and realize that, hey, man, this is wrong. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be involved. So we just need to understand that it's just really important that we understand like where we fit, because there are still lynchings going on as we speak. It's still kidnappings, it's still organ harvesting, all types of stuff. And I'm only using this history segment just to remind y'all, like, what happened to the ones who were um, killed and never gotten any part in or anything. And that's what makes it even more dangerous. And then the saddest thing about that is I'm named after the lynch victim that happened in Omaha, Nebraska, and shot 100 times and just burnt. And people took a picture of that, standing next to a burning corpse, smiling. Regardless of what you think of me or not, like, that could have happened to any of us if we were alive. Luckily, we weren't alive back then, so I'm happy that you know we was born in the 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, because I don't care how much money you got, I don't care how much swag you got, or influence, or popularity you got. Um, we was all considered colored people back in the day. If we was living in the 1920s and 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, we would be called colored people, and there would be no expense or no exceptions. We would all get killed, shot for nothing because we're black. And y'all think it's a fucking game. Y'all think it's just, oh, I can't get touched, but you can. All people do on this social media stuff is joke all the time. They joke, 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 or talk about people. But if when it happens to you or happens to somebody you love, you gonna want somebody to pray for you. You gonna want somebody to support. Make a GoFundMe account, have a taco sale, because you didn't have no life insurance, and you don't want people to have answers. You don't want people to pray. Keep thinking it's a game, man. But basically, this history lesson is done. But there were many more, and I suggest people do their research on it. There's a lot of cities. There were a lot of situations that occur, but I would be all night. But like I said, I'm tired. Just wanted to come on here and do my best and give y'all, some examples and stuff like that. Um, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's gonna be more. I might just do this all over again, but I'm not going to delete the video because I look good and everything like that, and I feel like I did a great job. Don't give a fuck who don't like it. If anything, you don't like it, do better. You know what I'm saying? I want to see you do better than me. But yeah, I'm out. Again, like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Keep supporting. Donate to the Cash App. $, the 1804 show. And I'm out. Peace.